Welcome back to Library Fashion and Style. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful detachable belt detail and also this structure detail that we have on the shoulder. So it's a two-in-one tutorial and it's very simple and easy to make. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. This is just a structured detail and it's very simple to make. I'm working with this shiny face satin. The texture of this satin is almost like Mikado. It is kind of stiff and strong. So because of the texture, I'm not going to add any interfacing to this. But if yours is not like this, you want it to stand, so you may need to add interfacing, or if you feel after washing it it's going to go soft, you may need to add maybe gum stay or whatever, depending on how structured you want it to be. So what I'm going to do is to simply put it on fold just like this by the length that I want to work with. For me, the width is going to be 30 inches. This fabric is by 60, you can see, and I'm cutting out two. I need two, that's why I'm putting it in a fold together like this. So this is going to give me two different structure. So now after putting it on fold, this is going to be 130 and this is another one. So for the actual measurement that I'm working with for the structure, we know the length now. So for me, the width on fold is going to be around 5 inches. So by the time I sew it, I will have, it's going to be around 6 inches. So by the time I sew it, I'll have 5 inches. So I'm putting it on fold like this. I'll grab my tape and measure out 6 inches. Then I'll take my scissors and then cut it out. So I have cut it out now and this is what it looks like. Remember, it's on fold, so I will not need to sew this part, and this part that I'm not sewing is what is going to be facing upward. So after cutting it on fold, so I went ahead to run a stitch on this part and run another stitch here just to sew it and turn everything neatly. You can also leave this part open and then you serge it later, but I'm not going to serge it, that's why I want it turned neatly. So I left a small space here, and through this space now I'm going to pull out everything. So what you have done to this, now you're going to do to the other one. Remember, I said you need two for this. If you want it to be more than two, you can make it more than two as well, but for this particular work that I'm doing, I just need two of this. So now I have turned this out. This is the first one and this is the second one. You can go ahead and iron this part alone. For me, this part I don't want it flat, so I'll just leave this as it is. I can just iron this part where I'm going to run my pleats or gathers. So here, this open part where you turned it out from, you fold it inside like this so that you can top stitch when you are making the gathers or the pleats. So I'm going to make pleats on mine. So this place is going to be on this part where you sew, not this closed part. So I'll go ahead now and make tiny pleats. Okay, so this place you make it, and then you bear in mind of the space that you are going to be placing this. You must have measured the space, and everything you are placing should not exceed that space where you are going to place this. So I'll do this for the two of them now. So I have gone ahead to run my tiny pleats, you can see, and you can see that this upper part is neat. That was why I turned it in, so that it can be neat like this. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So the next thing now is to bring in the dress that you are going to place this on, and you take it to your mannequin and pin it down. So I'm going to be doing this on the mannequin. I just want us to see what I am doing, so you will see it better how you are going to place it on your mannequin. So after placing it like this, I'm going to go ahead and use this trimming to cover up the spaces. So I'll just cut around it now and use it to cover the edges that I'm placing this on. So for this particular dress, it has another design on the waistline, but for me, I want this to be detachable. So it's also simple. I'm going to do it the exact same way that I did for this. So in the case of this one, I have already cut out the fabric. One is 7 inches on fold. Okay, this one is 7 inches on fold, and then the other one is 10 inches on fold. Okay, so this one is 10 inches on fold. So I'm going to turn it just like I did for that one, but in this case I'm not going to turn this upper part because I'm going to be sewing it inside the belt, so it's not going to show. So by the time you turn it out like this, I'll go ahead and run my pleats. You can run the pleats separately, or you place them on each other like this and run the pleats together. So after doing that, now I have already cut out the belt that I'm going to use. The belt is about 2.5 inches on fold, so by the time I fix it, it's going to be 2 inches. So I'll prepare this by turning the side first and then pleating it. Then after that, I'm going to bring it back so that you can see how I sew it into my belt. So I have gone ahead to make the pleats. So I just laid them on each other and then I pleated it, and then I went ahead to iron it like this, so you can see what it's looking. So it's just going to spread like this. Okay, so now this is my belt. I have also ironed the belt. I just folded it into two, and then I folded in the seam allowances here so that it can make this easier for me. So for this, you're going to note the midpoint of your belt. Okay, so here is the midpoint of my belt. So after noting the midpoint, I'm just going to measure like 4 inches or 5 inches upwards, depending on where you want it to start from on your body. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this inside. Okay, I'm going to put it inside like this. I'll pin it down, and then I'm going to sew it all around. Okay, so you can see how I am doing this. So after doing it, you can also go ahead and embellish this belt part with your trimming if you want. So I'll go ahead and do this now, and then bring it back to show us. Okay, so after fixing it in between the belt, I decided to use my trimming on the waist area so that it's not going to be plain. You can see how beautiful this turned out. So you can make it as long as possible. You just tie this on your waistline anywhere you want. I used glue for this, so I'm just going to try to use my flexible thread to tack it at some point so that it can also reinforce what we have here. So this is what the waist belt is looking like. You can see how beautiful it looks. And then for the one on the chest area as well, I just sew it down. You can also tack it. You place it on your mannequin to know exactly where you want it to be. So after ascertaining that, you go ahead and sew it down. I later ironed it because I did not like how it was looking when it was rumpled, so I ironed it and then I went ahead to sew it down. So this is the first layer. The second layer is going to cover the first layer, and then you use this trimming to cover up that point where you sew the first layer. So the reason I said you have to make it neat, because this part is still going to be there and you don't want it to start frilling. So that's why it is important for it to be neat as well. So this is what the one on the shoulder is going to look like as well. So I will take it to the mannequin now so that we can see what this looks like. But this is just going to be tied to the waist, and then this is going to be on the shoulder. So this is what the dress looks like on the mannequin. You can see how beautiful it looks. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one.